Can I say, first of all, thanks for all those who've organised this event today, especially the tenants, because it really is important that the tenants are the people who should be behind these campaigns. These are the people who will suffer from the result of this tax, and these are the people that we should see at the absolute forefront of any demonstrations and action against the bedroom tax. David Cameron and the Conservative and Liberal coalition used to say that we're all in this together. They've stopped saying that now. I haven't heard them say it for quite a while, and I think the reason why they don't talk about all being in this together anymore is out of absolute embarrassment for the fact that they've introduced the bedroom tax at the same time that they introduced tax cuts to multi-millionaires right across the country. As much as £100,000 each in subsidy to them. So they're going to talk about subsidy, then they should deal with those people who avoid and evade taxation, not on those people who can least afford to pay in these really difficult economic times. They've hit the most vulnerable in this bedroom tax, and they should be deeply ashamed of themselves. They're out of touch, it's unfair, and most important of all, there is no alternative to those tenants who live in houses that are slightly too large, who really would like to move to other properties. Because house building in this country at its lowest ebb since just after the war. And what a time to introduce something like this. I completely accept that the cost of housing benefit is too high, but the solution is not to hit the most vulnerable. The first solution should be build houses so that rents are not too high. The reason why there's an increase in benefit payments and in housing benefit in particular is not because of a few mythical extra bedrooms. It's because prices are rising and wages are falling. And in those circumstances, it is inevitable that more and more people will need to go onto housing benefit. So the solution is not to pick on the vulnerable. It's to deliver jobs to those people who want to work, well-paid, respectable jobs. Not to penalise those in most need. We're going to find ourselves absolutely praying for a warm winter. Because if we don't have a warm winter, there will be council tenants right across Bolton, sat in the cold and going without food in order to avoid going into arrears. And any government that thinks that's the right thing to do in the interest of the people of this country should be deeply ashamed of themselves. Raquel Rolnick, the UN special investigator, was invited by this government to comment on the bedroom tax. And it was only when she didn't deliver the right message for the Conservative Party that Grant Shapps, the Conservative Party chairman, called her disgraceful. Well, there's only one group of people that's disgraceful in all of this business. That's Grant Shapps, his Conservative government, and their Liberal collaborators for introducing in the first place. Because Mrs. Rolnick was right when she said that this was an attack on human rights, because she saw what we see, that this is a completely unfair and unjust tax. One that forces vulnerable and disabled people to go cap in hand, jumping through hoops in order to preserve the extra room that they so much need. The government believes that this is a price worth paying. The truth is, they won't save any money, because all it will lead to is more and more people in arrears, the local authorities spending more and more money trying to collect those arrears, and more people being forced into substandard private accommodation that is often much more expensive than the council. So all of this, and it won't save any money anyway. They say this is a tough choice. It's not a tough choice, it's just a bad choice. It's a stupid choice. It's one that this country shouldn't make. As I already said, the best way to deal with what they call scroungers is to provide them with a job, create work, create decent work, not try to run an economy down and down and down by making cuts in public spending. And I've always been in favour of when reasonable jobs are offered to those on benefits, to those who are able to do it, they should take it. And in those circumstances, the government is entitled to cut benefits. But not to those people who are unable to work or can't find work. We should be concentrating on 0 hours contracts, not picking on the vulnerable. We should be making sure that our priorities are for a living wage for the people of this country, not seeking to punish disabled people. The next Labour government must abolish the bedroom tax. And I have absolutely no doubt, regardless of what Liam Byrne and anybody else says, that the next Labour government will abolish the bedroom tax. And in the unlikely event that it doesn't, there will be numerous MPs like me who will, and Julie in the Whip office, and Yasmin, who has already committed herself, to vote against the leadership of the Labour Party and the Whip's office if in the unlikely event they choose to retain this unjust tax. So I have absolute confidence that regardless of what we say, or some people in the leadership say before the election, that Labour will abolish this unfair tax. In the meantime, it's absolutely essential that we must stand together as a Labour movement and community against this disgraceful Tory government and its Liberal collaborators. They should listen to the people of this country, hear some real life stories and hang their heads in shame. Thank you very much.